If you are in the market for a new EV, particularly a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y, we're going to go over the reasons why the better deal, even with this new Model 3 lease incentive, may be on the Model Y. And we're going to do that right here, right now on the Ujamaa network. If you're looking at these rising gas prices and what's going on in Iran and what's going on in Venezuela, which we do not talk about, um, you might be seeing the handwriting on the wall as far as your transportation needs going forward, with the U.S. pretty much being the bully in the room when it comes to that octane juice. There is great concern about that in the buying public. So you might be considering getting an EV. One of the best EVs out there, like it or lump it, is going to be the Tesla models. But with the new Tesla Model 3 and the Model Y being the primary drivers of that uh, automaker, and with the Model X and Model S being discontinued, it is now becoming pretty much clear that if you want to save some money going forward and not pay $7 per gallon in gas, yeah, this might be something you want to consider. The new lease incentive for the Model 3 is sub $300. This is at an age where an automobile finance or lease is somewhere in the neighborhood of $700 to $1,000 per month. Nobody in America can afford that. I don't care how good you are, nobody should be paying that. It's just way too much money. So, the idea of a sub $300 electric vehicle is a pretty good one, but it's not the whole story. Why is it that a smaller, uh, least expensive vehicle has more insurance costs than what we will see in the Model Y, even, which is a heavier vehicle and it is also a more expensive vehicle. And in the long run, when you do the numbers, it's just not going to make any sense. Dollars and cents, that is. Let's break down those numbers right now. First thing we're going to do, we're going to boogie on over to the Tesla website. I've already logged in, but I want to look at particular models. I'm not getting standard. Let's go ahead and look at our Model 3 first. And we're going to do an order form. Now, there's a big plug I'm going to put in for Dennis CW. He's one he's one guy that is single-handedly uh, giving us an advantage when it comes to going into a Tesla dealership and really doing his research. He has a buying program. I recommend you go check out his website, and that's going to be denniscw.com. And check on the deals button there and get that Tesla referral link. All right, but back to Tesla for right now. All right, my benefits are applied. I also take advantage of an employee discount that I have. But again, I don't want the basic. And right now, again, like I said, it's a sub 300 if you get that basic vehicle, which is pretty cool. But I'm at least wanting the premium rear wheel drive because it has the longest distance. I do not want the stock wheels, the Photons. I want the Nova wheels. And I would like white interior. Okay. Now that's going to take the estimated lease payment up to $369 with a due at 250. And this is a lease, and that lease is going to come with $3,000 down payment. You can go opt for the zero down, but that's going to jack you up to a 450 bucks for that model. All right, that's cool. Let's move on to our Model Y. And we're talking order now. And I want, again, to do the lease. And I want premium because of the nice front light there. I also want no money down. I want Helix and white interior. $695. Again, due today, $500. $699 per month with the zero down. It's very expensive. So let's go ahead and look at those numbers. $695 and $452. Okay, Twan, you're gonna overspend for a vehicle because you want to save a couple of dollars on gas, granted. However, this is not the end of the story. The master plan behind us in all of this is that in most states, EV insurance is just way too high. And even with that, the Model 3's insurance is actually averaging $40 to $50 more than the Model Y. And that to me would kind of fly in the face, but here are the reasons why. First of all, it is a least expensive vehicle out of the two. And what are younger drivers attracted to? Least expensive vehicles. It drives those buyers to that market. In addition, the Model 3 is much lighter, so it's much faster. That contributes greatly to why these insurance prices are so high because they're getting more damage. They're getting stolen more. Why are they getting stolen more? Well, because where do these young people drive these least expensive options? Where else? To the clubs. Windows are busted. Vehicles are stolen. You don't see that much with a soccer mom Model Y. Model 3s are in them streets, and that is driving those costs up. More claims. And that's the big, terrible, terrible truth about why you're paying so much more on insurance. Now, granted, that $40 to $50 per month is only going to probably add another $1,000 per year to your insurance. It's a lot of money still, granted, but still, when you're talking about, 580, 480, $500 per year. When you're talking about the overall cost, monthly cost for your leased vehicle, that may be a nail in the coffin. And keep in mind that the Model Y may have some similar incentives in the future. So before you plunk down that money and make that decision to jump into a Model 3, you might want a larger vehicle, especially if you're older like myself. Um, I think for me, it would be the Model Y simply because that's more my speed. Not that it's slow by any stretch of the imagination. It's just one of those factors that you have to work in when you're talking about the cost of the vehicle. You're already paying a substantial amount for the Model Y, which is well over $600 at this point with the trim that I just selected on. Is it worth it? Don't know. I'm on the fence about it, but again, there's a influencer out there that has a wealth of information. I'm going to plug him again. Dennis CW. I definitely have been playing with these numbers just because I like playing with numbers. And I would recommend that anybody who is attempting to jump into the EV space, check him out. He has a ton of information, a wealth of information. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you later.